Hey guys, SSB Lee here. So today's video is going to be how to play Cyber Dragons, or exactly what are Cyber Dragons. I know some people are getting into the game and some people are new to Cyber Dragons, so this is just to explain a couple of cards. Just going to try to make a quick video about it. I'm going to go over monsters and the spells and the traps and the extra deck monsters that are used in almost every Cyber Dragon build. And then I'll leave out whatever y'all want. So if you want to play 3 ofs, 2 ofs, it's not a deck profile. This is just explaining why we use these cards and whatnot. So the first card is going to be our Cyber Dragon Core. Core is essential at 3 in most builds. It's an extender. It's a lets you add a spell or cyber spell or trap when he's summoned, and then his name does become Cyber Dragon in the graveyard and while on the field. And you can also banish him from the graveyard if your opponent controls a monster and you do not. Again, this is once per turn, so you save it for when your field's completely empty. Banish it so you can special summon a Cyber Dragon monster from your deck. So another card that is great in this deck is Cyber Dragon Hertz. Hertz is here. So every Cyber Dragon card, typically like Hertz, Core, Nasher, and all of them, they all become Cyber Dragon. And then Hertz's effect is when he's sent to the grave, he can add a Cyber Dragon monster, or a Cyber Dragon from your deck or graveyard. So since everybody's name becomes Cyber Dragon, you can add back Core from the graveyard if you need a Core in your hand instead of a actual Cyber Dragon. And then also he has a secondary effect. You could either choose one of these per turn, and if this card is special summoned, you can make his level become 5, but you cannot special summon for the rest of this turn except machine monsters. I typically don't use that effect. It's mostly just the adding a Cyber Dragon from graveyard or deck. Another card that is mandatory is, of course, the original Cyber Dragon. In my build, that in my previous video, I only play one, just because I'm playing a bunch of other stuff to try to make Cyber Dragon more competitive. I mean, Cyber Dragon is self-explanatory. Run 2, 3. I was running 3 before, but like I said, I'm trying to make the deck more competitive. The next card that we do play is going to be Cyber Dragon Nasher. Nasher is really here as another extender. You can discard one card and special summon him, or you can use your normal summon. So when Nasher is normal or special summon, he can bring back a monster with 2100 attack and defense. Meaning if you were to use your normal summon for Core or Hertz, and let's say you have Cyber Dragon in your hand, you can throw away the Cyber Dragon for cost and special summon the Hertz, and then Hertz will let you bring back Cyber Dragon to the field since it's 2100 attack or defense. So another card that we play mandatory will be Cyber Dark Chimera. Cyber Dark Chimera is you use one effect mostly unless you're playing the other Cyber Dark monsters like I do. So for Chimera's main effect is you throw away one card, you discard one card, and you discard one spell or trap, and then you can add Power Bond from your deck to your hand, and then if you get it with Chimera's effect, you could use your graveyard as material as well. So Power Bond becomes hand, field, and now graveyard. And then we do play in this build, like I said, I'm just going over all my Cyber Dragon cards, and then and why we play them. We play Cyber Dark Claw. Claw's effect is just to discard itself and then add one Cyber Dark Spore Trap. I played in this deck just in case I don't get a Core. I can still add a Cyber Dark Spore Trap with this card. And then we do play Cyber Dragon Jormungandr. I play him at 1, and his effect really is if you get Nibiru'd. So keep this card in your hand. If you happen to get Nibiru'd, That's okay if you didn't have Cyber Dragon. If it's still in your deck and you get Nibirued, if your opponent controls a monster, you can actually special summon this card, and then it also allows you to special summon a Cyber Dragon from your deck. But you can only special summon machine type monsters after that. Then he has another effect if you play like Polymerization or any other card, like Fusion Substitute that's treated as Polymerization. You can bounce a Cyber Dragon card from your field back to your hand and then add that card from your deck or graveyard. It's pretty cool. Trying to figure out more ways to use him. And then we go into our Cyberdark Worm. Worm is a new card also we play one of, because his effect is once per duel. He can, once he's in the grave or in your hand, you can send one Cyber Dragon from your deck and special summon him that way. And if you do, you can add one Cyber Spell or Trap from your graveyard to your hand. And that's the once per tool. And his name also does become Cyber Dragon. So these cards all become all their names become Cyber Dragon except for these three down here. Let me move these up. So these three cards down here do not become Cyber Dragon, but these do. That leads us into our extra deck monsters that we are going to use. So in pretty much every Cyber Dragon build, you will always run a Chimera Mega Fleet just because it needs one Cyber Dragon monster and one monster from your extra monster zone. So it doesn't need to be your monster; it could be your opponent's monster. So that's how you can get rid of a lot of link monsters that your opponent has. Another card you'll see all the time is a Chimera Tech Fortress Dragon, just because you need one Cyber Dragon, and then you can use as many machine type monsters on the field. So if you play Clockwork Knight the spell, everything becomes machines. You can contact fuse with them. These are contact fuse. You do not need to. These two are contact fuse. You do not need a Polymerization or any spell card at all. And when you declare it, your opponent can't do anything to negate it. They can negate the summon of it, but they cannot negate you absorbing their monsters and using their monsters. So those are the two monsters right there that you'll use in the combination of these if you have them. So that's that for the two contact fuses. You'll also see a Chimera Tech Rampage Dragon, because it takes two Cyber Dragon monsters, and when he's fusion summoned, you can destroy as many cards on the field, spell or trap cards on the field, to the numbers of material you used. And then his other effect is to throw away cards from your deck to the graveyard, and he can attack multiple times to as many. So you could throw up to 2 lights. So what you would want to use this effect for would be either throwing away a Hurts. That way you can add a Cyber Dragon from your deck or your graveyard to your hand, and then you can throw away like a Nasher if you have some way to special summon it back. And then special summoning, I mean, if you do have one of these, he's also 2100 attack or defense. So, or the combination I typically do is, if I don't have a core in graveyard, I throw the Hurts and the core. So that way, if anything happens, if I'm bare, no bodies on the field, next turn I can banish the core. And then, like I said, if anything, or if I haven't used my normal summon, I send the core first, and then send the Hurts. Hurts' effect will kick off, and then I could just add the core to my hand if I haven't used my normal summon, and then normal summon the core. So that's a nice little way, since his name becomes Cyber Dragon. Then we do play, you'll always see Cyber Twin, just because if you have like a duality or a fusion card or Cyberload Fusion, you will always see this card if you are trying to go for an OTK just in the battle phase. You activate your quick play, get this card out. He is 2800, attack twice. It's pretty simple on that one. Other cards you shall like see mainly in these decks are going to be Cyber Dragon Seeger. Seeger is he takes 2 machine monsters and one has to be a Cyber Dragon monster. And then his effect is that you can target 1 machine monster you control with 2100 more attack or more, and then for the rest of the turn it gains 2100. And then so it doesn't need to be this monster. He can put it to any monster that's 2100 attack. So it could be your twin, because it's more than 2100. It's Chimera. So, and then also any attacks regarding him. So if you were to go and attack, they don't take any damage, and you don't take any damage. Neither player takes damage with this card once you activate that effect once per turn. And then the staples for the other link will be Clockwork Knight, because it lets you add Clockwork Knight. This card is amazing. Cyber Dragon keeps getting great support. They just need to keep it up. And one day I hope we can be competitive, more competitive than we are with like a Fiend Smith combo or like the Shaddoll package I'm running. This card is pretty self-explanatory. It helps you get Clockwork Knight, and it also helps you tribute 1 monster and special summon a different monster back. And then we do play, of course, the Cyber Dragon Nova. Nova is here to go into infinity, but also you can detach. It takes 2 Cyber Dragons, level 5. So, for instance, you can use these 2 to go into infinity, and then activate Infinity's effect to detach to special summon a Cyber Dragon from your graveyard. So you can get him back, or any of these other Cyber Dragons. And then you can also, if this card is destroyed and is from the field and it goes to the graveyard by opponent's card effect, you can special summon 1 fusion monster from your extra deck. So that's any fusion monster from your extra deck. So you can go into twin. You could typically see, I used to run the Cyber End Dragon just for that effect. If it gets destroyed, I can have the Cyber End Dragon on the field as well. And then, of course, we run the Infinity. Infinity lets you absorb 1 monster per turn that's in attack position on your opponent's side or your side. And it gains 200 per material it has. And then once per turn, you can detach 1 material from this card and negate the activation. And if you do, destroy it. So these are all the monsters that we use. Remember, these become Cyber Dragon, these do not. And then this is just in different circumstances what you use. Typically, you do always try to go for the Infinity to have the negate on the board. And then we'll go into spells and traps. And then this is going to be one of my shorter videos, trying to at least. So for the traps is Cybernetic Overflow in this deck. Not too many people do use it, but it's a great card if you're sending a bunch of Cyber Dragons or Cyber Dragon monsters to the graveyard. You can definitely use this card, and then you banish them from the field or your hand or grave and destroy that many cards. And this card is searchable through core because it's a Cyber Dragon Spore Trap. So I'm gonna put core right here, and then any card that is searchable, I will put it directly under. If not, I'll put it on this side. Power Bond. Power Bond is in here because, like I said, we do use the Chimera. So I'll just actually link it, put it under. So Power Bond is searchable through Chimera. Clockwork Knight. We play the Clockwork Knight to turn everything to machines. It typically stops like the Fiend Smith combo, since nothing is Fiends anymore, or any Blue Eyes. Nothing is a Spellcaster or a Dragon anymore because of this card. This card lets you search this card. So we'll put it over here actually. And then Cyberdark Realm we play because it is searchable through Clockwork Knight, because Realm's effect is once you activate it, you can add 1 Cyberdark monster from your deck to hand, and then you can also you could get an additional normal summon. So that's great because it's searchable through the Cyber Dragon core, or like I said, if you happen to play the Cyber Dark Claw, it is searchable through Claw because you can discard it and it's a Cyber Dark spell, but it also counts as a cyber spell. So that kind of helps with that. Cyberload Fusion is to help you get those OTKs when you are in your battle phase. You can activate this in your battle phase because it's a quick play, and then special summon one, or fusion summon one fusion monster from your extra deck listed with a Cyber Dragon monster as material by shuffling the fusion material listed into the deck amongst the cards on the field or face up banished. So if you use Chimera's effect to banish 2 Cyber Dragons, you can activate this card in your battle phase and put those 2 back, and then fusion summon Cyber Twin or the Rampage Dragon. And then again, this card is searchable through core because it's a cyber spell. And then a staple in these decks also is Cyber Emergency. It lets you add 1 Light Machine monster that cannot be special summoned, or cannot be normal summoned, or it lets you add 1 Cyber Dragon monster from your deck. And then if this card is negated by your opponent's card effect, so if like they ash it or anything, and it's sent to the graveyard, you can discard 1 card and then add this card back to your hand. So if it gets negated, you can throw away discard 1 card, add this card back to your hand. And it is, like I said, a cyber spell, so it is also searchable. So the only non-searchable card I do play is Limiter Removal. But again, that's just because it's in here, just because I don't have what I need right now. But it is just trying for me to go for the kill at the end of the turn, towards the end of the game. So if you see, I mean, pretty much, put these over here, put this here. So pretty much all of our spells and traps in the Cyber Dragon build are searchable through a card. You got your Clockwork Knight through Clockwork Knight, you have your Power Bond through Chimera, and you have Cyber Dark Realm, Cyber Emergency, Cyberload Fusion, and Cybernetic Overflow, all through just core. And then, like I said, if you use Cyber Dark Claw, you can also search the Realm. This is how you play Cyber Dragon. It's more of trying to build it to where you can rotate your cards around and thin out your deck so you can draw what you need if you have your hand traps. So pretty much with this card, you can go into multiple different combos. If you summon this card, you can go into your Cyber Dark combo by adding the Realm. The Realm lets you grab the Chimera. Chimera lets you go into Clockwork Knight. So, and then Clockwork Knight will destroy this to get Clockwork Knight spell card. And then it goes into Theron King Regulus if you want to play him. Some people don't. Also, you can go from Cyber Emergency to add the Cyber Dragon core to go into, again, there's a lot of starters here. So you can go from him to the Realm to Chimera to Clockwork Knight, or you can go from Cyber Emergency to core to Realm to Chimera to Clockwork Knight. These are your starters. Any of these cards in your hand right here, any of these cards right here in your hand are typically your starters right here. These 3 are your main starters. I play them at 3 each. Well, him at 2, Realm at 2. I just need to get 1 more copy. But yes, I want to play them all at 3. They are starters. If you see one, you are set. If you get ashed, if you happen to have these 3 in your hand, play the Cyber Emergency to bait out an ash. If they ash that's perfect. Then you go into your core. Core will let you grab a different cyber spell or trap because this one already got negated. So if you wanted, you can throw, if you happen to have a Hurts in your hand, throw the Hurts, grab the emergency back, and then this will let you grab a Cyber Dragon from your deck. And then since you already have the Realm in your hand, you can go into either the Cyber Load Fusion or the Overflow. And then, like I said, you add either one of these. So let's say you add the Load and this card. Boom, you are set. You are set because, like I said, you'll add the Chimera effect. Lets you add the Power Bond once you throw away a card, so you can throw away the Cyber Emergency again, so you don't waste the card that you need. And then you can go into Clockwork. Clockwork Knight will effect is to destroy a continuous spell to let you grab a Clockwork Knight. So boom, that's how you start working your field. I hope this video was pretty good. I do plan on recording some plays or some games to help better show what this deck is capable of. I do appreciate everything, guys. Again, thank you for the 50 subscribers. Please comment, like, subscribe. If there's any questions at all, please don't. I do want to create a safe YouTube space, I guess. But I do love answering questions, or if you want to talk about, hey, why aren't you running Cyber Dragon Veer or any other Cyber Dragon cards? Please go ahead and comment that down below, and we can start chatting, and we can go into why I don't personally use them. Like I said, I am just trying to make this more competitive for me. My regionals is coming up again, so I definitely do want to record some videos before that just to show what this deck can do. Again, guys, thank you so much. If you are into energy drinks, or if you're into hydration at all, please use my code at w.gg SSB Lee for 10% off. They're amazing. I drink them all the time at tournaments and at regionals. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Y'all have a good day. Bye.